What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome back to the sweet spot. It is Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving, and gosh, I am just feeling so much gratitude. And I know that that sounds cliche coming off of the holiday where we literally celebrate what we're thankful for. And I hope you did that. But this past weekend, we did a whole lot of nothing, which is really rare around our house. We didn't have any sports activities scheduled. We really like protected our time in terms of social engagements. I know I talked about this in the last few episodes is like I've gotten really good at saying no, and that served us very well this weekend. We did so much nothing, and it was seriously so amazing. We got the rest of our Christmas decorations up and did a few things around the house, but honestly, we relaxed more than I have in a long freaking time. So I am just coming off of a weekend of really just simmering in what is and finding so much gratitude for this life and honestly for who I've become and for my husband and my kids. And there's just so much for me to be thankful for. Um, as I was getting ready to record this podcast, I went and grabbed a cup of coffee because you guys, what I always imagine when I'm recording this is that you and I are just like sitting in these big cozy chairs or sitting across from each other on the couch and we're just having like this really intimate, close conversation. And I love like that being the energy behind this podcast is I just imagine us like curled up on the couch together, having a chat about whatever is top of mind for me. And I've been so lucky that so many of you have reached out asking for me to talk on specific topics because then I also get to trust that this is also what's top of mind for you. But what I want to actually talk about today is gratitude. And you may be like, that would have been a really good topic for last week when it's Thanksgiving. But here's the truth about gratitude is gratitude is the tool, the first tool actually that I implemented when I was walking into this really deep, really complex personal growth journey that I have been on in the last 7 years. Gratitude was one of the first tools that I watched change my mind and change my brain and change my life. And so when I think of like the things that I have turned to over and over and over as ways to help me shift from lack into abundance, as ways to help me build relationship with myself and with others, gratitude is at the top of the list. And here's a really cool thing about gratitude is gratitude has just become part of who I am. I think when we think of gratitude, we think of it as like an action of like, I've got to think of things that I'm thankful for. And then that turns into a feeling. But when you exist in a state of gratitude because you've practiced it so much, it just becomes a part of who you are, which is really what I believe is true for me. But I know for many of you, you're looking for really simple, tangible ways to shift the way that you're feeling in your life. And honestly, I think gratitude takes the cake on this. And here's what's really fun is even though I do exist in a state of gratitude a lot, I actually still have as part of my evening ritual, I walk through the act of writing down 3 things I'm thankful for every single day. And here's what is so freaking cool about that is I'm going to nerd out on brains for a second here is we have this system within our brain that's called the reticular activating system. And what this system does for our brain is filters out the information that our brain doesn't think we need and delivers us the information that it thinks we do. And so when you start practicing gratitude on a regular basis, what your brain is going to start doing is collecting things throughout your days to be thankful for. It's going to filter out some of the other information, and it's going to hone in and watch for things to be grateful for. So your takeaway from this episode is really simple. I really want you to find yourself a beautiful journal. You probably already have one that maybe you wrote in a couple of times and have since put it on a shelf. I want you to grab that journal. And what I want you to lean into for a couple of weeks is I want you to every day write down 3 things that you're thankful for from the previous 24 hours. And here's why this is such a cool exercise is as you're walking through your days, because it can't be, and this is the fun part about an exercise like this and why it's worked so well for me and for my clients, is it doesn't get to be like, oh, I'm thankful for my husband every single day. It doesn't get to be, I'm thankful for my health every single day. I don't know about you all, but when we went around the table at Thanksgiving last week, these were the things we talked about, right? Like we talked about the big things. Like I'm so grateful for our health and my husband and my kids and my parents and our family and our friends and this beautiful life and the sunshine and all these things that I'm thankful for all the time. Those are high level macro gratitudes. What doing this every single day is going to do is it's going to shift you into the micro. It is going to help you see things and stop and notice things that you're not already noticing that you can be grateful for. Gabby Bernstein has a quote that says, oh gosh, I'm going to botch it. Something about gratitude is the doorway to abundance. If you are looking for ways to feel more abundant in your life, gratitude is the gateway for that. And so the more we focus on what is good in our day-to-day life, the more that expands. I read a book called The Compound Effect, and I actually pulled up a quote, so I'm going to find that here. So Darren Hardy wrote the book, The Compound Effect. If you haven't read it, go read it. It is so good. You could read it many times. This is one of those things that you could read once a year, just as like a really powerful reminder of how small things over time become big things. And I think gratitude is such a powerful example of that, is the compound of focusing on gratitude will change your brain. It is like the fastest, I think it's the fastest way to neuroplasticity in terms of creating an experience in yourself and in your life that feels abundant. But one of my favorite things that he says about gratitude is he says, gratitude is a strategy. What you appreciate appreciates. What you focus on expands, you guys. Like this is true all the time. And not to nerd out too much on our brains, but if we let our brains run the show, our brains are scanning for negative information. We've talked about this before, is like our brains are protective. And so our brains are scanning for lack. Our brains are scanning for problems. Our brains are scanning for potential danger. That is why we feel low and like we're in lack on autopilot. But to shift into abundance, what we need to do is direct our brains to scan for the good stuff, to scan for what we can be thankful for. And so if you start writing down 3 things you're thankful for from the previous 24 hours, again, we're going micro, you're going to start noticing moments. You're going to start noticing things that your brain wasn't pausing and paying attention to before because you hadn't instructed your reticular activating system on what to focus on. And what you focus on, you find more of. And so gratitude as a state of being happens when we consciously choose it. And so every night, you guys, I post about this a lot. I've been putting my phone down so much more lately, so I've been posting about it less. But every night I come into my office, normally with my chocolate hormone drink, and I sit down and I have a journal that on one side I write reflection and on the other side I write gratitude. And every day I write, my quick reflection is like, maybe there's some things that the kids said that I want to remember or that I just want to like journal or brain dump on or things that I want to do tomorrow. Like reflection is really just like my checkpoint on my brain. Anything I want to get out of my brain from today or for tomorrow goes under reflection. And then on the other side, I write down 3 things that I'm thankful for from the past 24 hours. And so throughout my days now, when something happens that's micro, my brain goes, ooh, that would be a really good thing to write down. Ooh, that would be a good one to write down. So I'm not writing down, I'm thankful for my husband. I'm writing down, I'm thankful that my husband sent me a text asking how my day's going. I'm thankful that my husband reached out offering to grab the kids for me. I'm thankful for Sadie for doing something without me asking. Right? I'm thankful for how I felt after my yoga class this morning. They're more micro moments instead of macro high level gratitudes, because when we start collecting things on a more granular level, we're going to experience the feeling of abundance so much more in our day-to-day life. And so, yes, Thanksgiving is a beautiful holiday. In fact, I think it is my favorite. The idea of Thanksgiving is incredible. I love that every year we take this moment to pause and be with people that we love and share what we're thankful for. But don't let that be the only time you do this. Start finding those little moments throughout your day. Start noticing little things about yourself. I always say, if I could give you for the first week instruction on this, I want you to write down 3 things you're thankful for about you. Because of who you are, because of how you're showing up, because you're doing the best you can. Give yourself the gift of gratitude for you and watch it shift the way that you feel. In the book, The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy actually gives a really powerful example. He talks about how he and his wife were going through a tougher season. And he started writing down, I think it was 3 things that he was thankful for about her for an entire year. And he says, I did nothing else to change our relationship other than this. And after a year, not only did he have 365 pages of gratitude for his wife, what a gift, but it completely changed the trajectory of their marriage. And so use this as the tool. Whenever I'm feeling disconnected in my marriage, this is the first thing I do. Because gratitude shifts us out of judgment. Gratitude shifts us out of lack. And so if there's something right now, one thing, one container in your life that you feel like is a struggle, or that you know there's that could be better, write down 3 things you're thankful for about that, whether it's a person or your work or your business or something in your life that maybe your brain has convinced you isn't working. I want you to put this to the test and write down 3 things that you're thankful for about that thing or about that person for the next 10 days. And just see if it shifts your state. Because now that I've done this over and over and over again for almost 8 years straight, you guys, I have so much evidence that the power of this tool can not only change your brain, but it can change your life. It can change the way you feel as you walk through your days. And man, it is such a gift. So lean into this and let me know how it works. Let me know how it goes for you. If this resonates for you, I would love for you to share this with a friend or share it on social. This is such a powerful concept and such a simple, simple tool that you can use to change your life. I hope this serves you. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your comments. Thank you for your feedback. If you have a minute, leave a quick review. That's so helpful. It's so helpful to get this message out to more people. I'm sending you so much love, you guys. Have an incredible, incredible day. I'm so, so grateful for you.